Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop-side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode.
Against Gill, the crowd on its feet. Allen for the win!
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
Greetings, Earthlings. We are some ATLiens. Just kidding. We're the Sneaker History Podcast. To be more exact, I'm Robbie, chilling with my two main dudes, Rohit and Mike. How's everybody doing? Everybody.
Fantastic,
I feel
dude.
about Stankonia-ish as you can get.
Good.
I just dropped some bombs over Baghdad, if you will, in this last bathroom break. So
We can just stop right there.
Please don't
You
encourage
win.
this
You win
type
the
of
entire
behavior. Michael,
podcast.
how are you?
I'm
Michael
done.
3K. How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm freaking good, man. I'm freaking good. I'm just out here just making it, bro. Just trying not to. I couldn't think of a good verse to throw in or
Oh
good
no,
title to throw
yeah.
in. So
I
I'm
think
not
things
gone Aquema-Rye.
No, nothing's gone Aquemarai as of yet.
That was good.
that was. You know what, Rohit? If there's
No.
a champ of the podcast, you've automatically.
And I
just
want
won
all
that
the
title,
listeners
so-
to know we
Yeah.
did not premeditate that. I randomly went Outcast for no reason. So that's how good Rohit is, honestly, on the fly. We're going to have a good episode, though. A lot of just on the fly topics, a couple new models, a couple takes on old favorites mixed with another old favorite. You'll see what I'm talking about. But, we're going to do a little rocking and copping. I guess I'll get it started since I'm already talking. But when it comes to rocking, the fine people at Adidas know I'm a diehard Laker fan and Kobe fan. So they sent me out a little care package, and I've been wearing this literally every day. It shows its creases, which I think is really funny because you see these shoes. This is the Adidas Crazy One, a.k.a. the Kobe. It's interesting because you always see stock photos and there's never the creasing in them, right? Like when you wear the shoes, it's like these are actually crease magnets. And of course they would be with what they're made out of is pretty insane, but extremely comfortable. I'm not going to lie to you. These are way more comfortable than I thought they would be. If we're keeping it completely a buck, they're more comfortable than the Crazy 97s, aka the EQT Elevations. the other Kobe shoe they sent out. But yeah, no one's put a gun to my head and told me to wear these shoes every day, and I've enjoyed doing it. The Lakers colorway, I get targeted ads daily from Adidas on Instagram to buy the Kobe, the crazy one, and the Lakers colorway. And if you don't care about colorways, I recommend it. That's my first pair of Kobe's, the Kobe, and I'm blown away. I've always just been a fan from very far away. Rohit, I know you have a pair. You could probably attest to how legitimately comfortable they are.
Very comfy shoe. Unfortunately, I don't have a pair of the Kobe 2s. I don't have a pair of the...
Oh, you have a 2. Oh, yeah. You have the flat top model.
I've got somebody's beaters that when I was let go as a part of the Nike Global Cuts in 2017, this is how petty I was. I was like, let me go ahead and just cop a pair of Adidas sneakers right now to throw it back in their face. And then the joke's on me because what I ended up picking is arguably considered one of the ugliest shoes known to man.
Hey, it's still beautiful.
It's all right.
My Coppin might be considered, well, Robbie in a past life would consider this the ugliest shoe known to man. I won the ALD New Balance 860 V2s in red. So that'll be my Coppin. Entered on a whim, and here we are. It's always the ones you really don't thirst for that you win, but I'll let you guys take it from there. Rohit, why don't you bless us?
Ironically, I'm wearing a Pat Mahomes jersey because go Chiefs. But the shoe that I was rocking today, especially when I got back home from the rainy weather, was the Burrow. And I know it's not technically a signature product, but we'll go ahead and make that a thing because Joe Burrow is probably my favorite quarterback, not named Patrick Mahomes or Bryce Young. So I'll go ahead and shout you out, even though you're probably going to knock us out of the playoffs in the next 3 years. As for copping, one shoe that I was really looking to cop that I just found out about today was the James Harden V7 off white blue because it's Chelsea colors because go Chelsea. And lo and behold, we'll use this as a segue for a future topic in this episode. Those Run the Jewel dunk highs are ridiculous.
Yeah. They're clean.
Oh, Robbie, I think you're on mute.
Yeah, we'll circle right
muted,
back
buddy.
around to the Rock the Jewels here in a moment. Mike, why don't you hit us with what you're rocking?
Yeah, man, my rockin' is the Reebok Nano X3. If you guys can see it, good folks over at Reebok sent me a pair. This might be literally the best workout shoe, and I thought the X2 was, but they found a way to make it even better. So you got to try these out. These are so comfortable and super functional. One of my coppings is not here, and I'm just super irritated about it. I was telling Rohit earlier that I have a pair of the Nike Invincible 3s with the Zoom X supposed to be here. I bought them 7 days ago, and they're still saying preparing for shipment. So, yeah, I guess so. But my other copping is going to be from the good folks over at the London-based brand No Two Ways. Their latest ARW Subsolar. It's a knit sneaker that's actually has depth to it. Super nice premium materials on it. It's something that you don't see often, but super nice shoe. And I think if you ever want to try something different out, these are 100 pounds, which is $135 US, and they have better materials than $250 sneakers that we have here. So try them out. I mean, Robbie, you're going to London sometime soon, aren't you? Did we make that up? Are you going to
Robbie's on mute again, but at the same time,
I 100% am. No, I keep pushing the button and my trackpad's being a little.
I thought you froze. Just
but yes, I will be. Unfortunately, that 4-man roster is already pretty set in stone. Anywho, though, Rohit, I'm really happy you brought up those Run the Jewels dunks because Killer Mike is a member of Run the Jewels, right?
Yep.
I'm not a huge Run the Jewels fan. I've never been really into that Atlanta-based band personally. So, Rohit, I'll let you lead the charge. Which one of these two colorways, the high or the low, do you like more? And whatever history you want to spill about Run the Jewels, or either one of you, if you want to spill any history, educate me and us.
Okay, perfect. I can try to do that. And Mike, you be the Killer Mike to my LP or the LP to my Killer Mike, depending on how we want to look at things. So Run the Jewels is a 2-man rap duo. They were initially formed under the guise of LP, who's probably the most influential underground producer in hip hop from the last 20 years. I think he executive produced an entire Big Boy album that I believe is called Rap Music. Please, listeners, Discord members, if I'm wrong, hit me up. Let me know. I'm at Nick Engvall on most social media platforms. But at the same time, they've made this pact, so to speak, to provide that boom bap of things like KRS-One and the Bomb Squad from the 1980s. And I think that's probably the best comparison to make. And I know usually when we talk about comparisons, we like to compare players from different eras. We're going to try to flip that on its head a little bit, because I think that is the quintessential comparison I always make when it comes to Run the Jewels, maybe with a hint of early Ice Cube, because they're just aggressive and nasty. And where I'll defer to Mike on this is the fact that I've heard from a lot of my friends that they're probably the best running playlist you can get. And I know Mike is probably the most serial runner out of the three of us. Pardon the bad pun. So Mike, Run the Jewels, and tell us about how Run the Jewels affects your run towards any sort of jewelry, whether it be metals or something else.
No, man. I mean, you got all the history right. If we're just going pure, just like, yo, I just love listening to the band. Gym time, pushing weight, running miles. I mean, that's the go-to playlist for me. Like, that's the first thing I'm looking for when I'm creating a playlist is Run the Jewels is top 3 artists I'm looking for, because of just pure, I'm talking about, how some rap albums is like, oh, okay, we go up, 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 up. We're going to come back down mellow. They're just, how far can we go up this ladder of just intensity for the entire album? And it's one of the few bands that I don't think I personally, any album I listen to, I haven't had a skip.
Yeah.
So,
and I kind of feel the same way as well, because ironically, the other comparison I like to make, and it's a cross-genre comparison, they're the modern-day Rage Against the Machine, in the fact that they've got a lot of political aspirations, they've got a lot of messaging that tends to serve underrepresented communities. I think that is sort of Killer Mike's influence, in the sense that he's a highly motivated, very political person. And though he's a proud gun owner, he's also shown an ability to cross the aisle that even some professional politicians are envious of. And I will say this, I believe they're coming out on 420, which has some significance to Run the Jewels folklore, but it's also the actual birthday of Killer Mike himself. So there's a dual meaning to that, as is always the case with Run the Jewels.
Yeah.
See, and
I think it's something like LP's, like, it's like his wedding anniversary or something. It's something they tie into a bunch of different places to Killer Mike's birthday. I want to say it's like an anniversary date for LP or something of that nature. And there's a bunch of different things that just all kind of wraps into.
And because Run the Jewels,
that's package. So good.
Sorry, Robbie.
No, just because I didn't know anything about the dates. I noticed it was releasing on 420 and thought, like, do they rap about weed a lot too? I didn't get the connection. Can one of you tell me what the Dubrays mean? There's like a kind of like a hand motion like this, and it looks like a fist bump.
So essentially, that is their calling card. That is their version of Wu-Tang is for the kids. And every album cover of Run the Jewels music is that fist transposed against a different color. Mike, keep me honest. I think the first album was black. The second album was red. The third album was a royal blue, light blue gradient. And then the fourth album is a bit of a lightish violet.
Okay, bro. We don't need to flex that hard.
Red, yellow. Yeah,
I'm just fucking with you.
My man got the memories over there. He said,
I can go days for Run the Jewels. But then, okay, tell me this. Which one of the two shoes do you like more, the high top or the low top?
I'll go ahead and say this, just for the listeners that are unaware. What's special about Run the Jewels is obviously it's a two-man group, and I've never seen Nike represent both members of the band, so to speak, even though neither shoe is affiliated with either member. But we are getting two specific Run the Jewel dunks. We've got a low and we've got the high. I think the low, as extravagant as it is in terms of its colors and its blocking, I'm going to go with the high, because I just am a sucker for wild shoes. And if you look at the material on the shoe, and I'm going to hopefully throw the oop so Mike can finish the alley, talk to me about the materials on the high, Mike, because that is just sick. And I think that's a true one-of-one shoe.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, is it like magenta pony
some
hair?
Some kind of hair, yeah.
It is like, some kind of faux pony hair. Definitely a wild shoe, and I think it represents them well. If you just like how loud their music is. But I would have to say, although I do like both, if I had to pick one, if a gun was to my head, I have to go below. I just always like the dunk clothes a little bit better. But so it's perfect. I mean, me and Rohit literally make up the band right there. So we have one of each.
2-man team, 2-man squad. Rohit, I can definitely see you wearing the high tops. That's definitely your style. I don't like any kind of synthetic hair on any shoe, so it's not particular to this. So I'm also going team low top. But I love the Dubray on the high tops. That's really, really cool. I mean, speaking of really, really cool shout outs, we've seen different colorways of this shoe that released the day we're recording. So when you're hearing this last week, Concepts Boston and Jordan Brand did a collaborative release of the Tatum 1, which we've seen a really cool blueprint colorway. We've seen like some kind of food. I forgot what color it is. It's a food, some kind of like, I want to say it's oat milk. It's not oat milk though. You know what I'm talking about though? It's like kind of like a soft beige looking Tatum 1. I'm gonna have to look it up.
I've just seen the Welcome to the Zoo one, which is the one that Jordan Brand was sending out to everybody who tweeted about Tatum should be getting a signature shoe. I've seen the
he's from St. Louis.
Where's he from again? St. Louis colorway. Yeah, I've seen that colorway as well. That's the two I've seen. I haven't seen the oatmeal colorway.
Oh man, it's definitely not oatmeal-y too. I'm totally butchering that name. But you got it right enough.
No, and Robbie, let me go ahead and give you time to look it up. So I do know that the 4 colorways that are going to be released for the first 2 seasons of the Tatum one is the aforementioned Zoo. Then there's St. Louis, which is his hometown. We've got a barbershop and a pink lemonade. So I think just going off of names alone, I'm really intrigued by the pink lemonade. I know initially early returns were not good on the Tatum 1. I think we were all kind of roasting it in various degrees. But now, as Nike has a tendency to do, like Jordan Brand, that's possibly going to get me excommunicated from both companies. It's one of those things that as we get closer and closer to the release date, the photos just become more and more fire. And then you're regretting your words saying like, oh, this is a trash shoe or this shoe is not that great. This shoe is fantastic now. So once again, I will own my L as only I can and say kudos Jordan Brand for giving us some fire for the Jason Tatum 1.
It is.
I believe so.
I think it's only 120, right?
Reasonably priced. It's Huevos Rancheros is the shoe.
Food. I did see that.
I mean, I didn't want to go into the taco narrative because wasn't the Jordan 37 had a Taco J colorway?
It did.
36 and 37. No, yeah, both of them had a Taco Tuesday color kind of deal.
It is also 120. You are correct on that price point. But I mean, not gonna lie, I'm never gonna wear a pair just because he's a Celtic. But it's not a bad shoe. It's definitely a me problem, not a shoe problem.
I'm just not a Jason Tatum fan, so I'll never wear it.
Here's the thing.
There you go. I mean, there you go. No,
I was just going to say this. As a resident of the Show Me State, and St. Louis is known not very well for its culinary scene, but if we get an Emo's Pizza colorway, I will rock the hell out of that because that is the one food I miss the most. And if you know anything about St. Louis pizza, it is polarizing to say the least. It is probably not that tasty to 9/10 of you, but the 1/10 of you that like it, come join me in my kingdom. Join my parish. Enjoy this.
Is that where it's... Yeah, super thin,
super
right?
thin. There's a unique type of cheese, and I'll put cheese in quotation marks called Provel. And yeah, listeners, if you want to take some post-episode homework, look up Emo's Pizza and tell me what you think in terms of review or on the Discord community.
So I guarantee you pizza is a favorite dish of the next shoe here. I can see this gentleman, one Luka Doncic, eating a lot of damn pizza. He's like, oh, he found pizza for the first time at like 16 and he's been crushing it. But
it shows every summer.
His shoe just debuted the Luka 2, which is curious to have it. Well, it's okay. Big picture, it's only curious because the Mavericks obviously are not going to make the playoffs, and there must have been some type of grand plan to have him wear them at some level of the playoffs, and that didn't quite work out. It's like the second to the last regular season game, he pulls them out. But also, very interesting to me, a blueprint-like colorway, kind of, maybe it's not directly blueprint, but kind of like very linear with lines, a lot of line work in the Luka 2 we've seen. But do you like this more than the Luka 1? I like the Luka 1 simplicity more, but I can see the Luka 2 being popular. What do you guys think?
I like the Luka 2 better. It looks like there's some more look like they're ready to take a chance because the first one, although it did look nice, it's kind of plain. So it looks like they're like, okay, we got a decent reception. Let's go ahead and get in the toy box and see what we can come up with. So I think I do like the 2 better. I think it's going to have a better reception than the first one because that was, I think, the complaint with a lot of people that it just looked like just a team shoe that there was nothing too special about it, but this one seems to.
I kind of want to see more colorways in the two before making a definitive call. I actually like the simplicity of the one. I thought it was a fairly complimentary shoe because I think it's a great metaphor for Luka's game, because on the surface it's very simple, but then you kind of notice the technical brilliance. And I would say Luka is probably the most technically gifted basketball player of this new generation. So I'm interested to see how they continue that narrative in the Luka 2. And yeah, if we can get some fire, because low-key, there were some fire pairs to the Luka one. The all red, the San Antonio Spurs homage, much like the San Antonio Spurs fan that's in this call. I'm sure he's shaking his head because he so agrees. What's that?
Where are they? Where are they? Where's the Spurs fan?
You, Brown Bear. But I digress.
My wife's not here, so
no, it's going to be interesting because I do think that if he doesn't make the playoffs, which is a more than likely scenario, like how are they going to market this? Because I also think it can't necessarily be marketed as a summer shoe. I would say this, if I'm comparing the two shoes, the Luka one feels more like a summer shoe because of how light it was and some of the more aesthetically pleasing colorways. Yeah. As of right now, we just have the sample size of that dark blue blueprint for the Luka 2, and it feels more winter and fall heavy. So interesting to see what happens.
Ice it until next season. I mean, if I was Jordan Brand, clearly I'm not on their payroll. But if Luka doesn't make the playoffs, ice it. If it feels that much chunkier than the first, and then just go ahead and ride the Tatum until through summer league and the draft, and then once the new year
the wheels
comes,
fall
first start,
off,
and they figure out what the hell they're doing.
Because Mike,
with
you are
the Mavericks,
frozen.
Go ahead and push that shoe.
I mean, so we have a Tatum 1, we have a Luka 2. Then we have a Jordan 2/3. Now, it's a mashup, right? Of the Air Jordan 2 upper on top of a Jordan 3 midsole tooling, much like a Yeezy line or Frankenstein. I would rather wear the Luka 2 or the Tatum 1 than be caught dead in this fusion. Okay, I'm only so adamant because Jordan Brands fooled me a couple times in my life. They got me to buy a pair of Air Force Jordan 4s in white cement. They got me to buy a pair of 16.5s. I'm pretty sure they got me to buy a pair of two. Yeah, I did own a pair of 2.5s. And then you have these 2/3s. I will not be fooled a fourth time. I won't. I will not be fooled. So I will absolutely never wear that shoe. And I am like, not even to say that to be contrarian. Like, I've literally learned my lesson from buying weird ass Jordans in my life. So what do you two think about it?
You didn't buy you didn't buy the 312s?
No,
the
I mean,
ones?
Again, I learned my lesson many times, but I put the 312s or 213s. No, 213 is the Snoop Dogg group, right? But I just won't rock with that, man. Like, the Spizikes are different in my book. The Dub Zeros are different in my book.
617.
Those do not count. Those are in the same lane. But like, I remember specifically buying the 16.5 and being like, these aren't that bad. They were like on discount plus employee discounts. Like, I'm for like $35. One of the most stupid $35 I ever spent in my life. So I will not be fooled a second time. And then the Fusion Jordan 4s, like, there's enough memes about that. I don't need to go into a whole lesson, but I was fooled. Let's put it that way. I was fooled. White cements weren't easy to come across, and I wanted white cement 4s really bad. So you two, would either one of you be caught dead or caught alive in this Jordan 2-3?
That's the worst part about me. I'll try it. I never was caught into the same trap of the 16.5 Air Force or Lab series. So I think I have at least one.
I had 2 pairs of Lab Jordans too. I kid you not. Like, I've been
See,
fooled so many times.
Robbie, at this point, I do think I'd be more surprised if you don't end up with a pair, because I think you've just shown us that there's a precedence and a history of you thirst trapping for these particular hybrid shoes. And I will say this. I like Jordan Brand a lot. I respect what they do. But I think at times they get a little too overly ambitious, thinking, okay, what do we do to combine multiple silhouettes? Sometimes, and I've had a conversation with a lot of my friends recently about this, you've got to just stay in your own lane. That's such an underrated skill in this modern era, not just in sneakers, but in life. Stay in your own lane. Keep these as VP exclusives And if somebody's really thirsting for him, hook him up. The way that Mike had called out that I think they were seeding Jason Tatum ones to people that said, hey, Tatum deserves his own shoe. If there is a Twitter user that is fiending for these sneakers, give them to that person.
Let the man eat.
I'm going to make a burner Robbie account. Make
Robbie,
make sure I get him, baby. But I mean, it's just, man, I like different things. I'm not too cool to admit that my recent my eBay searches are actively the Jordan Delta 2 and the Clot colorway. Like the Clot collab had like the Flint 13 look to it. I'm not too cool to say.
Sick. Go exactly. Like $60,
dude. I wish not in my size 12. Man, those things are expensive. It's a damn shame. But I'm not too cool to say that I like weird Jordan stuff. Like I will try a different shoe from Jordan brand, but like I just look at this and I'm just like, it's like when you see a painting that's just like paint splattered across it, like red paint splattered across it. It's just like, is this so genius because it's simple, or is it so stupid it's simple? Like I don't know. But like
it's a dumb or amazing. I can't figure out which one. There's a thin line.
I can't put it together. But well, here's the real question. I know my answer. Would you rather wear these or the new Jordan 1 retro, the new one, the NU Jordan 1s?
Oh, I wear the 2-3 all day. That I can't even make myself buy that. You know me. I'll try different stuff. I had that shoe in the hand, and I was like, people really wear this.
I'm going nubbins.
No shade on them, but I'm like, I can't do it.
I'd go full Saw-2 and just cut my damn ankles off. Cut my damn feet off.
Ironically, that was going to be my answer.
Hand me those Skechers.
Yeah. At the same time, you know what? You only live once, so why not make a designer's day? Because if somebody put the time and effort to design this shoe and see it to fruition, meaning from a sketchbook to a local sneaker shop that you as a listener may frequent, I'll go ahead and wear the Jordan 1 that Robbie had alluded to. It'll be a one-time only thing.
I'm going to drop this knowledge bomb.
You know, they're pushing that one hard.
They're pushing them hard. I'm going to drop this knowledge bomb that somebody put in the Discord earlier this week. Nike has a heavy surplus of this stock in 2020. Stock is just generally up, I think 12% from 2022. And there was a lot of stock last year, like as in shoes. So I feel like both of these will be contributing to the high amount of stock in Jordan brand and Nike's lives. Now let's keep it on with just weird shoes. I think these are weird in a good way. We have the Air Force One Wild. Rar with pretty much is it like a Terra Humera like midsole? It's an ACG tongue mixed with the Air Force One mixed with ACG midsole. It's coming in 4 different colorways. It's very different. It's pretty cool in my book. Of all the shoes we've discussed that are new, these are the ones that I would most likely put on.
You know what vibe I get from these shoes? It's the Nike SF AF1 boot that came out a couple of years ago, and it had the commemorative bag to go with it.
Yeah.
Oh, with all the straps.
Exactly.
Like,
that's the vibe I get from the shoe. And just kind of...
Yeah, those things were popular.
Very popular. I mean, I remember it being very hard to get those for anybody, whether you were inside or outside the berm. I'd say this, out of the 4 colorways that we do see, the olive one is nice, that orange one is nice. And then at the same time, even the yellow and orange, dare I say Tom Sachs inspired, because that right now, that man is probably Voldemort when it comes to the sneaker community. Even that's good. Like, I think you can't go wrong with any one of these 4 pair.
Are one of them green, purple?
I'm oddly intrigued by each and every one of these.
What's the
Gray
top
purple?
left one? I'm colorblind as hell. Is that gray purple?
It's olive and blue.
Robbie, what color was the dress? White and gold or black and blue?
I know exactly what you're referring to, and I couldn't answer that to save either one of your lives. You would both be gone if your life depended on it. It's just it's interesting that it does look really Tom Saxian. I didn't really put that together, but even like oat-ish color, like whatever you want to call it. Like I now kind of
the yellowish.
I can't unsee it, but the double black's really cool. And let's pour out a sip. Mike, you're normally having a cocktail or something. Spill out a little bit for all those people who rock the skin tight jeans, with little zippers on the side, and those super high up Air Force One utilities. You know what I'm talking about? Little zippers on the side.
That was a moment.
Those shoes ran so fucking high up your foot, you had to have something to like alleviate bunching. You had to have a zipper.
Yeah, I feel
pant,
between that and what KD was it? What KD was it that was super knee high as well? Like that was the golden era for knee high shoes.
That was the.
I think it was the KD 9.
The 8. Is it 9? Maybe it's 9. The elite, wasn't it? Because he like the thigh high boot. Like
I call it the KD Kim Cattrall. But you know what's interesting to me is all these kind of rustic, darker colorways coming out, and I guess it's fall time, right? A lot of the country and the world experiencing weather that is conducive to those colors. But you know, we had a Shack Attack black top that's gonna be dropping soon, and I feel like that also kind of borrows the same type of like earthy. I know black top's concrete, but like it's technically a rock, right? It's Shacknosis.
Yeah, it's like rocks pressed together to come with the asphalt. Huh? Did I just make that up, or was that like a?
No, it's a Shack Attack. Did I say Shacknosis?
It's a Shacknosis, but it's okay. I think we subconsciously knew what you meant.
It's a Shack Attack. Pardon me.
We knew what you meant. We'll throw a picture up right there. Nick, throw a picture there.
I mean, they're cool though, but like it's a lot of shoes. I brought up the recreational activities ones last episode.
They'll just sick. The whole
but just like
good.
Kind of off black grays. I think my colorblind ass can't tell. I think these black top Shack Attacks are black, and my ass thought they were gray.
I'd like to judge the shoes based on the character and not the color.
Are you guys like Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and
tread lightly, my friend.
Luke Cage, and I'm just over here Dreadlight. I'm just over here Daredevil. Like I'm trying to pick stuff out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Daredevil. That's the right thing. Let him cook. He doesn't know what color it is."
I was gonna say, do you think Kogi ever like just set his boy up to be a complete fashion fail because of the whole blindness thing? Because like everything we've been led to believe 100%. About Matt Murdock is he's blind, but his other senses more than make up for it. Like, is he a flashier dresser because he can smell what color's better? Like, how does that work?
Smells fabrics.
Dude, like what is the bread
so
count of
colorblind
that he can figure this out?
The whole colors being similar across the board with the black top Shack Attack and all these shoes was a premeditated thought from like 2 hours ago. That's how wrong I am. I'm not even like trying to like on the fly think of something to say. Like I really looked at that shoe and said, "This is a nice off gray or nice off black," and then continued about my day. So.
This whole episode has gone Aquamarai, just to bring it back.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I have to. There's one shoe I didn't put in our notes that I forgot I want to talk about with you guys, and we ended at that because this might be the most absurd shoe that I want to see in person. I think it's a Timeless pack from Nike. I could have the name wrong, but it takes two Timeless shoes and puts them together, and it decided to put the Vomero and a Panda Dunk together, but instead of just making the Vomero black and white, they put these removable leather patches around a shoe.
Yes, Michael, I know to what you speak, my son.
It's ridiculous. Like, it's so ridiculous. I want to see it in person. Like, I'm so intrigued. Like, I'll buy it and return it just to have it in hand for a day. But it's a white, all white Vomero, and it has like the overlays of a Dunk.
Mike, I'm looking at this photo for the very first time in real time, and this just reminds me of every school play that you had a family member who was in, let's say, that second grade, first grade sweet spot, and one of them inevitably is Abraham Lincoln, and the beard is so out of proportion to everything else. Like, you got the top hat good, you got the tuxedo. Like, there's no wonder why Mr. Lincoln was so sad when he passed away, because he knew his historical legacy is kids with oversized beards. And I think Rick Ross did some sort of course correction, so he's now no longer the go-to for disproportionate beards. But yeah, this is absurd.
Mike, do you not consider yourself a man of the Lord?
Oh, I do, and apparently someone was very sacrilegious when they made that.
These are proof that the Lord works in mysterious ways.
No, I was going to say this. Can we call these the Noah Ark?
I don't
had nothing to do with that. Someone else did that.
This is mysterious as hell.
It wasn't
I don't
him.
get
Literally
why.
look like the arc that Noah got 2 animals 2 by 2 on. Like, this is absurd.
I thought you were going to go with the middle school play. These look like to me like if you had it's all white Vomeros and your kid's told to like be a tree stump and they have to like put like black, put like something over the shoe to like make them look less like white Vomeros.
It's the Halloween costume you get where the thing, your costume fits on top of the shoe, but it's too big. And your shoe.
No, I was going to say, I was wanted to see what a sneaker retainer looked like, and now we have that.
That's that. I think ending on a solid VH1 level roast.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is best week ever adjacent.
That's an awful shoe. Let's go ahead and this.
This has been an awful
Every
episode,
year, though, somebody has to do it. And
go for it.
No, somebody has to do it. Somebody has to make a bad shoe every year. So here we go.
They came in early with this one.
I was just saying something because I think just last episode I was saying how the Zoom Vomero 5 has been my sneaker of the year, and like the Dornbecker one represents a highs to highs.
I'm with you.
This was an effort. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I mean, okay, we didn't even talk about
No
the
ribbons
dunk
given
with
for this.
fake ass Vomero webbing on the side. Like, there's a dunk that goes with it.
Oh, just throw it out.
It's better.
Throw it out.
It's actually
Throw it
wearable,
out.
but it's still not good.
This much better. It is this much better.
It's like saying it's liquid poop instead of solid poop. It's still poop.
It's still crap regardless.
That was fun. Listeners, let us know what shoes you think look like poop. Maybe it's Mike's favorite shoe. Maybe it's my favorite shoe from the episode. Let's go ahead and say where people can follow us and the favorite shoe of the day. I'm going to go with the Wild Air Force One, and I like to party. Make sure you're following at Sneaker History. Rohit, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Roheezy, on Instagram at RohitM13. My sneaker of the show is the Run the Jewels High. If you remember the Discord, there's any sort of raffle, I may call on you to increase the likelihood of me of obtaining a pair.
You have my sword.
And I will take your sword. Mike, can I have your shield?
Man, there you go.
I kind of want those too, man. I don't know if I'm going to shield or not.
That's fair.
I was like, I think I'm gonna. So you guys can find me, of course, here. Find me on Instagram at MadWatcher789 and YouTube at Mike Guillory. My favorite was the Run the Jewels low, but in reality, I know my losses are vast. So you'll probably see me more in the Air Force.
Really, I thought you were going to pick the timeless pack that we
Force.
just talked about for the last 5 minutes.
Oh, I mean, if you want a good joke and laugh, I literally have tears on my face from laughing at that roast that we had on that shoe. So if you want a good sick laugh about shoes, go look at that picture and then report back and let's talk about it some
Mike
more.
and I think it's time for Time Force, Wild Force. So we're gonna go Power Ranger up. So thanks for listening, everybody. Peace.
It's morphin' time.
See ya.
Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, the Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.